today. Shout out to off-season Caitlin Clark sources. Off-season Caitlin Clark sources be having the sources. They stated Caitlin Clark profile headshot has been updated on Team USA. So this is the new and improved looking Caitlin Clark. Now, as y'all can see here from this picture, judging by her shoulders, she lost a lot of weight. But this is the Caitlin we want to see. See, this is the Caitlin that shoot logo threes. And judging off the footage that came out this weekend, there was a lot of...
That's the sobering truth that few want to acknowledge. But when you monitor the algorithm as he does, the data is undeniable. Caitlin Clark just returned to the hardwood with Team USA in Raleigh this past weekend. And the audience metrics tell a story that should alarm anyone invested in the WNBA's path. Day 1, interest peaked. Day 2, it wavered. Day 3, it crashed. That sequence exposes a major vulnerability in where this league stands for 2026. Team USA just refreshed Caitlin's official photo and profile on their roster site, a sharp new headshot, updated milestones, every rookie achievement documented. The 337 assists in one season, the 19 assists in one game, the 769 points that broke the rookie scoring record, first rookie triple-double in history, 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the first rookie on the All-WNBA first team since 2012. It's a stellar resume for an athlete with only one pro season. But here is what that shiny profile ignores, whether a 2026 season...
Based on the CBA negotiations. From my understanding, they put forth another proposal for the WNBA players and the owners, but the players did not accept the new proposal. Now, we know January 6th was that 6-week timeline that we got before we either see another extension or another shutdown. Now, with that being said, I'm here to tell you, if we do not have a CBA signed by March or April, we gonna be in trouble. We gonna be in some serious trouble with the WNBA coming back for the 2026.
Will even exist for her to play in. January 6th, that is the cutoff. 6 weeks from this video's recording, the WNBA players and owners must finalize a new collective bargaining agreement, or we face another extension or a total shutdown. The union already turned down the league's latest offer, and based on his breakdown, if there is no deal by March or April, the 2026 season is in deep trouble. Here is why that clock matters. The WNBA cannot handle a lockout right now. Not with engagement already dropping in the off-season, not with Caitlin Clark's pull being the main engine for mainstream relevance. A lockout doesn't just halt the games, it destroys the algorithm. It snaps the content cycle. It gives casual viewers an excuse to stop caring and the proof that interest is already cooling. Look at Unrivaled. That is the new 3-on-3 league that arrived with huge hype starring the WNBA's biggest names. It was supposed to prove off-season demand for women's hoops. The stats were lackluster, meaning there is no safety net here, no evidence that fans will stay tuned in.
We're going to talk about is Annie Constable being the first reporter to do a sit-down interview and talk about what she's seen when she was granted access to see Caitlin Clark. We're going to talk about that shortly. Now, something else that offseason did was updated this. This is Caitlin Clark professional notes. Instead of in her rookie season with the Fever, Caitlin Clark set league single season record of 337 and single game records of 19 in assists, broke the rookie scoring record of 769 points, and became the first rookie to achieve a triple-double. She was named the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the third Fever player to earn the honor. Additionally, was the only rookie selected in all WNBA first team, becoming the first rookie since 2009 and only the 5th overall to ever name the league's first team, drafted number 1 overall by the Indiana Fever 2024.
When Caitlin is not playing a real WNBA game, shout out to Caitlin Clark. Check out her frame in that new headshot. She leaned out over the offseason, and that's actually a promising sign because this is the version of Caitlin Clark that hits from the logo. The clips from Team USA's Raleigh camp proved exactly that. Constant logo threes, The deep range that made her a superstar at Iowa. The high-risk shots that baffle traditional critics but make highlight reels go viral. But something else surfaced from that weekend. The first professional reporter to gain access and speak on what she saw. Chloe Peterson from the Indy Star joined Annie Costabile for an interview posted to YouTube. At the time of this analysis, that video had 452 views, not 452,000, just 452 for the first insider look at Caitlin Clark's return to the court. That view count says more than any corporate press release. It suggests that even in the core WNBA media space, there is a gap between the content being made.
There's a lot of work that obviously needs to be done. Caitlin coming off of this injury, this was kind of the first time that we all have seen her operating at 100% since her injury. And she herself admitted, like, even though I feel like I'm at 100, there's still a lot of things that a lot of rust that I need to shake off. So I just think seeing these young players come in for the first time was probably the most noteworthy aspect of USA Camp in Raleigh this past weekend.
And obviously, nationally, there was a lot of interest with Caitlin Clark, and obviously locally, we're Indy Star here. A lot of interest in Caitlin Clark returning. Just what did you see from her play? Did she impress? I know Kara Lawson talked highly of her, Suber as well. Just like, what did you see from Caitlin in USA Camp being healthy?
Still there. That was one of my leads, was just, that shot of hers that we're also familiar with, very much still there. Her speed was coming back, which I thought stood out. Obviously, her timing on passing, that still was impressive. I think defensively, which anyone I think who watches Caitlin's game knows that's an area that needs to improve. And so watching her against Kelsey Plum was funny, just because
and what people want to watch. The Indy Star is the lead outlet for the Indiana Fever. Annie Costabile is a veteran WNBA voice. This should have been a must-watch for Fever fans. Instead, it vanished. Now, here is the real substance. Chloe Peterson was allowed inside Team USA's camp, and her notes offer the first honest look at Caitlin's physical form. She is recovering from the ankle injury that cut her rookie year short. This was the first time anyone saw her at full speed since that setback, and according to Chloe, the jumper is still pure, the pace is returning, the elite passing and timing are still there. Those are the wins, but there is rust, which Caitlin herself noted. And then there is the defense, which everyone knows is the biggest hole in her game. Watching her defend Kelsey Plum was reportedly eye-opening. Plum is one of the fastest guards in the world, a former scoring champ who knows how to pick apart defensive flaws. And the pairing showed exactly where Caitlin still lags on that side of the ball. It's no secret. Defensive growth was the top critique of her rookie year. But seeing it tested against Team USA's best proves it is a legitimate hurdle, not just a media talking point.
Watches basketball knows that that's a part of Caitlin's game that stands to improve. So yeah, watching her go up against Kelsey was, and still knowing that she has this rust to shake off, was a bit telling. And then, seeing her and Paige on each other, I think I don't think it's a matter of one versus the other. You're watching and kind of evaluating how these two players are going to operate together one day. And so I think that was more exciting than telling at all. I saw someone ask me like, who's standing out and who looks like someone that's going to get cut. And it's just, that's not the purpose of this camp. This is not a camp that's like, oh, hey, you're no longer going to be in the pool after this one camp, So I think, those were some of my takeaways.
The more telling part was seeing Caitlin and Paige Buchers sharing the court. Chloe made a vital point. This isn't about one versus the other. It's about how these two superstar guards will function together on Team USA. Paige should enter the WNBA in 2025 if she declares for the draft. By 2026, they could be national teammates, building their chemistry and seeing how their skills align as part of the long-term plan. And the key word is development. This camp wasn't about cutting the roster. No one was being tossed based on 3 days of practice. This was about bringing the next wave of talent into the Team USA fold, the same fold that has dominated the world for decades. The goal isn't just to win, it is to win by massive gaps while preparing for future Olympic runs. That defensive battle with Kelsey Plum is vital because it shows what happens when Caitlin meets guards who create at an elite level. In the WNBA, she was often protected defensively or given help. Against Team USA's list, there is no place to hide. Everyone scores, everyone creates, and the intensity is much higher than a normal season game. The contrast in how Caitlin engaged with different media at camp also stood out. With certain outlets, she was open, made eye contact, and shared personal details about her life. With others, her posture shifted entirely, brief answers, avoided eye contact, clear tension.
Caitlin Clark content. So it looked like Team USA wraps up the weekend with a lot of footage coming out. Now, the numbers, I was very interested to see how everybody was going to take the Caitlin Clark returning back to the basketball court. And I'm about 50-50 sold on the algorithm being right where it need to be. The first day, we seen numbers go up and down. Second day, numbers go up and down. Third day, they kind of plummet, which means to tell me a lot of people still are interested, but there is also a lot of people that ain't interested in Caitlin Clark or the women's basketball genre.
That difference is not random. It is the result of specific interactions that built trust with some and broke it with others. Chloe's view as a Fever Beat writer provides great context. She has seen Caitlin learn to handle the media circus through her first year. The curve was brutal. Moving from college star to the face of a pro league meant every word was weighed, every quote was sliced, every look became a meme. Some reporters earned her respect, others burned it by hunting for clicks. He has built his brand on watching the Caitlin Clark hype cycle, not through fake views, but by analyzing where the actual interest lands, and his view on the 2026 season is grim. The heat that drove the WNBA to record heights in 2024 is already fading. The algorithm that boosted women's sports to millions is now moving on. The window for mainstream focus is already closing. That isn't being negative. That is reading the patterns. This happens in every sport. When a massive star arrives, you get an initial blast of interest, then reality hits. Casual fans drift off, the core stays, but it's smaller. And if that shift happens during a lockout, a content void with no games to track and no clips to share, the damage is much worse.
Word, you don't want it to go, bro. Because we got to look at the algorithm now. The viewership now is down. And what's going to be well, we really can't go off Unrivaled, because Unrivaled didn't do very big numbers last year. Had Unrivaled been a success, now I'll be like, okay, we could check out Unrivaled, see how their numbers looking, to see how the WNBA potential future looks. And as of right now, the future do not look good, guys. I just got to keep it real. Now, I know it's a lot of old guard fans and stuff like that that'll argue with me that it does. I'm looking at numbers y'all don't see. And the numbers don't show the WNBA doing good for the 2026 season. That's why we got to track this thing. That's why we got to hype Caitlin up. And that's why we got to keep this thing going. Because if not, man, this was a one-hit wonder. I just got to keep it real. Now, with that being said, man, we got to head on over to X. Check out what is the updates coming out about our girl, CC. So this was the updates coming out.
The WNBA had lightning in a bottle. Caitlin Clark's first year pulled in eyes the league had never seen. Attendance exploded. Ratings peaked. Gear sold out. But turning that spike into a long-term win requires keeping the engine running. A 2026 lockout would be a disaster. It would waste the brief time when casual fans are still watching, still curious about the future. So this was the news coming in. Look at his warning. If the CBA isn't done by March or April, we are in trouble. Not just a late start, serious trouble. The kind that makes you wonder if the 2026 season happens at all. And he is right. Pro sports lockouts don't just stop the games, they ruin the bond with the fans. They create a mess that sponsors avoid. They give TV partners a reason to pull back. They break the routine that casual fans were just starting to build. The WNBA players have valid points. The revenue model needs to change. Pay needs a major bump. Travel must get better. Charter flights should be the rule, not a perk. These are fair asks. But these talks are happening at the worst possible moment, right when the league needs order to keep its new mainstream grip. And here is the hard truth. The players have more power than ever, but that power is tied almost entirely to one player. Caitlin Clark is the reason the ratings took off. She is the reason the gates were full. She is why casual fans tuned in. If a lockout stops her from playing, the league loses its biggest chip. The owners know it. The players know it. And Caitlin is in the middle of a battle where her own value is the main point of conflict. The viewership trend, he noted, where interest spiked, then died by day 3, is the warning sign. It shows that this boom is fragile. It proves casual fans aren't locked in yet. It shows the WNBA still leans on Caitlin's active play to drive the numbers. And if a lockout takes her off the court, if the content stops, if the algorithm shifts to the next trend, the league might never get back the ground it won in 2024. Think of what is at risk. The WNBA just had its peak season. Expansion is coming. New TV contracts are being signed. Big brands are finally paying up. This is the time for the league to become a permanent mainstream force, or it is the time a labor fight kills the momentum and sends the league back to being a niche hobby that most fans skip. These CBA talks aren't just about cash. They are about whether the WNBA can hold the ground it fought so hard to gain. They are about whether Caitlin Clark's run is a foundation for growth or just a footnote on what might have been. They are about whether league leadership can avoid a crash right when they reach the top. January 6th is weeks away, then March, then April. And if no deal is reached, if the season is stalled or lost, if Caitlin Clark spends 2026 abroad or on the couch, the WNBA will have thrown away its greatest chance ever. The algorithm won't wait. The casual fans won't wait. The heat won't wait. And once it dies, it is almost impossible to restart. So when you see that new Team USA photo, when you see her stats listed, when the league cheers her on, remember that none of it matters if she has no court to play on. The CBA fight is the only story that counts right now. Everything else is background noise, and time is running out.